We're starting at the top of the hour with your host, Maggie Christina, from the Grassroots Dog Business Show, the place to be for industry news on both sides of the fence. Tonight, we are reporting especially about the recent uptick in man babies domineering the market. So let us begin tonight with sharing with you recent news directly from the front lines. With the IACP conference looming in September, tensions have been rising with the already fractured, balanced dog training community. The issues recently exploded when the cabin-fevered trainer from Alaska, Joshua Cropper, and owner of HPV Working Dogs, announced a war against Jeff Gelman and, consequently, the IACP for inhumane treatment of dogs. According to one source, Jeff, the previous owner of a sex shop and current owner of Solid Canine Training, is, and I quote, totally rapey vibe. His hair reminds me of the 80s, but he's got a huge following, so it's totally cool, right? We're going to be going over to local officials for an update on the investigation.
Well, it's pretty clear to me that something did happen here, and there's nothing I can do about it.
But Sheriff!
Hey.
Well, thank you for that lively update. Folks are upset, claiming that the only thing solid about Jeff Gelman's Solid Canine Training is his penis. Some speculate that his penis gets hard while he's choking dogs out. It wasn't until Gelman's recently booked seminar started encroaching on Cropper's Alaskan territory to the north that tensions broke between the two parties. The truth is, Gelman has very little to do with IACP. The only story we've ever had reported back to us at Grassroots was of stealing material from the infamous Mark Goldberg, otherwise known as the Chicago dog trainer, and he's also known for his amazing wit and love of watches. However, Cropper, twice previously convicted of domestic abuse, is bitter after heavily sweating IACP's nuts before instigating a falling out in 2018, claiming that the IACP is nothing but a get-rich-quick scheme created by the founder Martin Deely, that Deely is getting rich and growing his retirement account. Admittingly, Deely does have a dealio with IACP. Let's face it, that man busted his motherfucking ass building it over the last 15 years. However long it's been, that bro works his ass off. Let's delve into the history of the IACP, Martin Deely's intentions, and the purpose of the organization as a whole. So long time ago, there used to be no memberships, nowhere to go for the professionals in the dog industry. And then one day there was a man, his name was Ian. Dunbar was his last name and he had an idea. He decided to make an organization called the APDT. But the reality is, really truly, that Martin Deely and Ian Dunbar have known each other for quite a while. Martin's been around the block, y'all. He's been around quite a while. And when the APDT came around, it was the first organization of its kind, finally a place for the professionals to go and really just be with each other and learn and grow as the industry was becoming an industry. It wasn't just like a cottage thing anymore. Cottage industry meaning people just didn't do it for a hobby, did it for a profession. And of course, as the story goes, the APDT became more and more extremist, left-wing, if you will. Things divided once again, and Martin Deely saw a need for a more balanced aspect to the training community, if you catch my drift. And that is how the short of the long, IACP, became established thanks to Martin Deely. Martin has something in common with the rest of us. He's just one dude. You're just one person watching this. I'm just one chick making a crazy video about the reality of what's going on in the industry right now. And the reality is, Martin has done more than most of us put together to try to make a change, try to make an impact. And is the IACP community perfect? No. Are there individuals that even for me, I can't stand these days, like Tyler Muto, That motherfucker was rude to me at the last IACP conference, and don't get me started about his NRA comments when it comes to e-collar stuff. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff there. We won't get into it, not the purpose of this video today. Back to IACP though. It's just an organization made with the intention of creating a safe, balanced atmosphere for people to learn and grow. And at the end of the day, of course, when we have extremism put right into the mix of everything, it's gonna get degraded really quickly because we're not remembering what the core purpose is. And the core purpose, including for Martin Deely, is that age-old wisdom of can't we all just get along? Which brings us up to our next segment, the Won't You Be My Neighbor at IACP segment. That's right, we're gonna go into a little tunnel of love right now, you guys. Zoom, bing. All right, this is the get real talk. Because, you know, on one hand, I don't like putting names out there, even though I vehemently disagree and do believe that these types of people should be banned. The reality is, don't attack the IACP as an organization. We can't attack our communities. Our communities are sacred. They should be a safe place for people to come, to learn, to grow. And the reality is, if we keep this dividing line of the fence up, then none of us are going to get what we need, because it doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on, you're not feeling safe. And that's the irony within our communities these days, folks, is that on one hand, you've got pure positive trainers, which we hear tons of stories from people like you watching this video about how you've had breakthroughs and shifted your way of thinking, and the rigidity and the extremism within the pure positive community is so tight that you've been suffocated out. Your relationships have dissolved in front of you over ridiculous situations, and it's painful, and you're afraid to share, you're afraid of showing up to a place or having a discussion that, you know, somebody that's supposed to be your friend might disagree with, and you're terrified of getting attacked. All the way over to the balanced community, y'all are doing the same shit that was the reason why IACP became in existence to begin with. The whole reason was to have a safe place. And I will tell you, as somebody that has reasons to be upset and irritated and angry with IACP, issues around sexism and the types of people that have been in the organization or still in the organization, it rattles me, it angers me being told after the last conference I went to that maybe I should stay home and teleconference because I was a single mom at the time, and you know, you can't have independent women that don't need our help running around the conference. That wasn't a comfortable situation, and I was very upset. However, I was upset with a few individuals, not the organization, and there lies the difference of maturity that this industry as a whole needs to start recognizing, because there's too many of the associations and the organizations right now where people on the inside are afraid to be themselves, they're afraid to speak out, they're afraid to move towards a better motherfucking future because everybody's attacking each other right now, and we need to all come together. So I want to invite every single one of you to join me at the IACP conference. We will be there. We will be there with not just a booth, but we're going to be there with open arms and open ears, ready to hang out with you guys and do whatever it is that you feel like you need to be supported to get your ideas and stuff heard. And so that's just the first part of it. We're going to have a couple of follow-up segments over the next few weeks around exactly what's going on and why we're doing what we're doing. You guys, the reality is, yes, there's some really dirty, nasty, squeaky wheels right now in the industry. Y'all have a choice in the matter, right? But I think the important thing is this: we don't have to choose between two sides. We need to remove the dividing lines, we need to remove the fence, and we need to create more than two ways of doing things, because that's what creates community, is by having everybody have a seat at the table and have an opportunity to be heard. And that includes, you know, you trying to push your own agenda. If you have respect enough for other people to sit down and get to know them first, they're going to become more open to your way of doing things too. So it's a win-win situation for literally the entire community. Because right now, you guys, the term balanced trainer and the term pure positive trainer doesn't really hold any water anymore. because we're not basing it off of how we treat each other. We can't grow, we can't flourish without each other. There's only so much that we can figure out as individuals, no matter how independent we are, no matter how strong we are, no matter how good you think you are, or God's gift to whatever, we do need each other in order to flourish and grow. There's no denying that. And if we keep working at odds against each other, especially the organizations right now, the worse off we're gonna be. So I'm not saying it's perfect, and neither do you. You don't have to say that it's perfect either. But we do need to recognize one thing. We need our communities more than ever. So I could be upset with IACP for my own reasons, and I'm choosing not to this year because you guys matter. The people out there matter. Coming together matters. Because at the end of the day, all of the major associations, IACP, APDT, the Pet Professionals Guild, all of them, they have one thing in common. One thing. When you look at all of their mission statements and code of conduct and all the words and the blah, blah, blah on their websites, nothing is dedicated to each other as a professional. Nothing. There's no minimal standards in how we talk to each other, or how we treat each other, or the way that people tend to get people to jump on their bandwagon and go send people out to go fuck up people's reviews and all of that stuff. It's gross. We don't encourage that, nor do we uphold that in our standards or at all expect our members to act like that. And as a matter of fact, if my clients were out rallying like that and sending people over to give other people bad reviews and things of that nature, I'd kick them out of my community. I don't know about you. So we choose to stand with that third way of doing things. That's our commitment, and that's who we are. So this is your host, Maggie Christina. I'm officially signing off for now, but I have a feeling I'm going to be seeing you guys around. Talk to you soon.